To all Jamaicans living overseas, I have some great news that I hear about, and I just want to share it with you guys, just in case you haven't heard about it yet. So somebody told me, and I actually had to go and look this up for myself, and it was true. But somebody told me that if you are planning to return home to Jamaica, the government of Jamaica is willing to, they will allow you to ship your items to Jamaica at a duty-free cost, meaning you don't have to pay no taxes on your personal and household items that you are shipping to Jamaica. When I heard this, I was like, really? So I went online to look it up, and lo and behold, it is correct. It is true. So I'm Jamaican living abroad, and I love to speak about my beautiful island of Jamaica, my beautiful gold spoon Jamaica. Yes, I love to speak about it because, you know, Jamaica is one to, you know, to treasure, man. I just love Jamaica. All right, guys. So unlike me and a lot of other people who has moved from Jamaica, who has migrated overseas, it doesn't have to be here in America. It can be anywhere, as long as you are no longer living in Jamaica, but you are actually living overseas. The government of Jamaica established this program called Returning Residents Concession. Yeah, this returning resident concession actually allows you to return home with ease. You know, the government of Jamaica, they are actually encouraging citizens of Jamaica to return home, you know, and they want it to be a good experience when you're coming back. So they are now offering this benefit where you can actually pack up all your personal belongings, all your household belongings, send it to Jamaica in however way you choose to send it at duty-free cost. No taxes to you on those items. And I think that is actually a beautiful thing, you know. It's a beautiful way for Jamaica to help us to integrate back into Jamaica with ease, you know, because we know how it can be when you send your goods to Jamaica and they charge you taxes on every single thing, man. But the government of Jamaica is actually now offering this service where you can actually ship your things to Jamaica and they won't charge you a penny of tax on those items. I mean, come on, let's give a hand clap, man, because I think that is just the most beautiful thing they could ever do for returning residents. But you know what? This does not only apply to returning residents. This also applies to deportees. You know, if you're in the position where you were given a letter of deportation, it applies to you as well. If you are a student living overseas and you're ready to return home, as long as you can prove that you are a student and your sole purpose to migrate was for, you know, educational purposes, you can actually pack up your things, send it to Jamaica duty free. Tell me if that's not a beautiful thing. I do know that my grandparents could have benefited from this if this service was around when they went back to Jamaica, because I remember when my grandparents, when they went back to Jamaica, they had acquired so many things over the years and they did not know what to do with them, so they ended up putting their things in storage, you know, and so they can go back to Jamaica. And when they went to Jamaica, of course, you know, they had to purchase everything all over again. They had to buy furniture, they had to buy you know, equipment, everything all over again to furnish their house, which is not a bad thing. It is a good thing because that is money being spent into the country. But you know, if they knew about this, or if this service was available to them, then I am pretty sure if they could stack things in barrels, if they could stack it in containers, they would have done that, you know, and ship all their things to Jamaica at a duty-free cost. I know that not everybody wants to reside here permanently, you know, here in America or overseas in general, you know. Some of us, we just move overseas for better opportunity, and then when we have you know, when we feel like it's time to return home, then, you know, we're going to do it, because they say east or west, home is best. So there are a lot of Jamaicans here in the United States and a lot of Jamaicans overseas that cannot wait to go home, you know, because they've put in their time. They've put in their time overseas, and they're just now ready to go home and relax and enjoy Jamaica. Because when I tell you that Jamaica is something else, man, it gives you that peace of mind that you just cannot find anywhere else. I was talking to somebody who is currently getting themselves together to move back to Jamaica along with their family. I'm talking about their spouse who was born here in the United States, children born here into the United States, and they are actually gathering themselves right now to return back to Jamaica. And I asked him, I said, why are you going back home? You've already got life together here, right? You have a good job, you have things going for you here. And he just said, you know what, Jamaica just give me a peace of mind that you just cannot find anywhere else. He says you can actually have peace in the middle of the storm when you are living in Jamaica. And he actually is looking forward to moving, and which is coming up very, very soon. And yes, there is a lot of us out there, a lot of Jamaicans out there. It doesn't have to be here in the United States. It doesn't have to be in Canada or England, wherever you are overseas. Yes, I know not all of you want to retire overseas. You want to move back home with your family. As a matter of fact, not all of us want to move back to Jamaica to retire. A lot of us want to move back to Jamaica, you know, while we are still young and flexible, so we can enjoy the fruits of Jamaica. So I think this is amazing news to know that this program is offered out there for anybody who wants to return back to Jamaica to live permanently. It has to be permanently now, you know. And as a matter of fact, I would take advantage of that. If it was me and I was in that position right now, I would get the biggest container that I can, and I will pack every single item that I can find in my house and put it in that container, and then I would stuff that container even more. You know, like when you're packing suitcase and you squeeze the something them down and then you try to make more room for other stuff. That is what I would do. I would look for everything in my house that I can find and put it in that container and ship it to Jamaica duty free. Of course, you're gonna have to pay to ship your items. You know, that would be nice if we could get it shipped for free too, but that's not the case. You're gonna have to pay to ship your items. But just knowing that when it gets to Jamaica, just knowing you don't have to pay no taxes on those items. So I actually went and I looked it up, you know. I looked it up to see what type of items you can ship, because you know there's always some kind of, you know, stipulation somewhere that you have to follow. And I was looking at it and I said, oh, this is a pretty good list. So I had to take out my computer for this one. So let me just look down at my computer and kind of read off some of the things, because there's a laundry list of things that you can actually take with you to Jamaica. So let me just read off a few, okay? So air conditioned units, hey, because you know Jamaica is hot, so you can get your air conditioned units, you know, so you can send that. Barbecue grill, bedroom items, bicycle, blow dryer, brake front. All right, let's get into the bedroom furnitures, living room furniture, such as coffee tables and couches and things of that nature, and tables, household tools, ladders, lamp dresser. They were very detailed when it came to this. And all of this information can be found online. Just, you know, do your little research, and I'm telling you, you will find it. It's actually easy information to find. And so vacuum cleaner, a whole laundry, musical instruments. There's a whole bunch of things that you can put into that container, and send it to Jamaica duty free. When I saw this, my heart was like, oh man, only if my grandparents had this program when they were moving to Jamaica. But of course, you know, there's always rules and regulations involved. So I have to look down on my computer for this one, because I'm going to read off who is eligible for this program. I don't want to miss a heartbeat of this information. So let me just look down on my computer here and tell you who is eligible. So in order to be considered as a returning resident and to benefit from the concession afforded to returning residents, you must satisfy one of the following, okay? First, you got to make sure you're a Jamaican national. Be a Jamaican national at the age of 18 years of age, residing overseas for at least 3 consecutive years. So overseas, meaning it doesn't have to be here in the US, it doesn't have to be in Canada, it doesn't have to be only in the UK, but as long as you are overseas and you are residing for at least 3 consecutive years overseas and you're ready to return home permanently, then yes, this program is available to you. You got to be a Jamaican who gave up your Jamaican citizenship and can be a Jamaican who gave up your Jamaican citizenship and can provide proof that previous status and wishes to return home, okay? So if you are a citizen, for example, you know, unlike me, I'm a US citizen, and if I was ready to return back home to Jamaica, then I would definitely be eligible for that, as long as I can show proof that you know, that I gave up that Jamaican status. So if you are, and this one is cool, because if you are a non-Jamaican whose spouse is a Jamaican returning home, you're also eligible for that as well. So yeah, so if you're married to a Jamaican and you're moving to Jamaica to live permanently, you're qualified for this. And if you are Jamaican and you're married, because this question came up, somebody was asking me, they're like, well, what if you're married? Huh? Can you actually ship both parties ship your household items separately? You know, because if two people come together and they ship things together, then that's more stuff that you're able to get overseas. And of course, it will be duty free. It will be duty free. So will be duty free for both parties. Here's the thing: a Jamaican national who reside abroad for more than 1 year but less than 3 consecutive years for the purpose of studying and who returns to Jamaica to reside permanently will be entitled to duty exemption on some of their items. So this is where that person would definitely have to make sure that they are following the guidelines as to what they can ship duty free and what they cannot. A deported person, because we already know what is going on, especially here in the United States right now. There's a lot of people being deported, but a deported person who has been residing overseas for the last 3 consecutive years, you know, they will actually allow you to ship your items as well duty free. So that's actually very good. All right, so what documents are required? Because you can't just ship your items and then you get to Jamaica and you're like, I'm not supposed to pay taxes. No, listen, there is an order to things, okay? So this is what you need to do. Returning residents must visit the Jamaica Customs Agency Returning Residents Unit and submit the following. All right. A valid Jamaican passport or foreign passport that is endorsed with the unconditional landing stamp. You have to have also a validated bill of lading or airway bill. Taxpayer registration number. So if you don't have one, I guess you need to apply for a Jamaican TRN. Documentary evidence that will substantiate residency outside of Jamaica for 3 consecutive years. So you need to prove that you are a resident of Jamaica living overseas for more than 3 consecutive years, you know. They also need documentary evidence that substantiates intention to reestablish permanent residence in Jamaica. So they're not joking. They are not saying, oh, you feel like you want to move to Jamaica for 6 months and then, you know, you leave Jamaica and move back to the overseas, you know. Some of us, we like to come and go. They are looking into people who want to move back to Jamaica permanently, you know. Not those who wants to hop back and forth here and there. So you gotta come up with documentary evidence to prove your reestablishment of permanent residence in Jamaica. Now, returning residents should present transcript, confirmation letter of attendance from last institution of study, and identification card issued by the institution. And this will help all those who are being deported right now. It says deported person should present their deportation order, case file, letter from the passport, immigration and citizenship agency, and picture identification, also known as PICA. PICA. Okay, so I think this was a lot of good information. I was so excited when I was told about this. I said, what? You can actually get your things to Jamaica duty free, meaning you don't have to worry about paying taxes on your items. And this is a one-time offer now. It is a one-time offer. So that is why I'm like, take advantage of it. Stuff everything you can in that container like you would in a suitcase. Ship it to Jamaica because it's only one time only. All right, so I'm just so excited about this news and I wanted to share it with you guys. Tell me what you think. Would you take advantage of this offer? Yes or no? Do you think it is worth it? Okay, and go ahead, put that in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.